Good
Please
evening.
confirm you can all hear me.
Good evening.
Brilliant. Good evening again, everyone. My name is Bukola Koka. I'm a broadcast journalist with Channels Television. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so, be it corridors of power, boardrooms, FEC meetings, hallowed chambers, even night meetings, women belong in all decision-making spaces. And so true democracy, justice, fairness, good governance, peace, sustainable development can only be achieved with equal representation. And the route to equal representation in our own unique democracy in our climb is through political party primaries. And this is the essence of today's engagement, aptly titled Update Audits on All Primaries. So this is to scrutinize, if you like, audit, as we've aptly titled it, the just concluded political party primaries across board, from the big parties to the small parties. We're scrutinizing for gender inclusion and asking, aptly, rightly, was there an equal playing field for all aspirants, participants, male or female? Did the political parties walk the talk from their commitments through press conferences and their documented party rules? Did they implement it in action during the actual primary process? And so we have able gentlemen whose activism have stood the test of time, over the years, gentlemen and women, to help us scrutinize the process through their study and the observance of the process. This engagement promises to be brief, brisk, and concise. But first, let's set the ground rules for this engagement. We do not permit any form of derogatory language, any form of insult on anyone, however highly placed or lowly placed. Our speakers are allotted time to speak, and once their time to speak has been exhausted, please permit us, as we said earlier, it will be brisk. We'll have to mute our speakers once the time permitted has been, exhausted. This is because we're, live on X, and attention span can be very, very minute, and so we want to keep the engagement as much as possible. So once again, let me remind you, no insults, no derogatory language is allowed during this engagement. And if accusations will be made against anyone, especially during contributions, those accusations will be left in the realm of allegations. All right, so let me begin by introducing our very able speakers who have joined us today in this engagement. We have the Executive Director of Invictus Africa, Mrs. Bukola Shonibare. She's one of our speakers. We also have Mr. Alibe, Mr. Austin Alibe. He's an activist in the space of gender engagement. Let me just get that very correctly before I conclude. Yes, we have Mr. Austin Aibe as well, a committed activist on gender equity, democracy, political participation, and electoral integrity. We also have Ms. Cynthia Mbamalu, a human and gender rights activist promoting democracy, youth and women's political inclusion, legislative and policy reforms, and electoral integrity. Those are our speakers for today. Let's begin with the press conference. And to deliver the press conference in today's engagement, we have Mrs. Tom Okewale Shonaya, who is the founder and director, Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation, Women in Politics Forum. Pardon me, let me get that correctly. Yes, we have Mrs. Tom Okewale Shonaya, co-founder and executive director, Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation. She will deliver the press conference before we begin our panel discussion. So over to you, Ma.
Thank you very much, Bukola. Thank you. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So this is a media statement at the Express conference on update of all political parties primaries. Today, Wednesday, 3rd of June, 2026. And this is to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, 36 state governors, national chairmen of political parties, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Nigerian people. Good evening, press, citizens, and defenders of democracy. We speak today as a coalition of women-led movements, CSOs, and citizens alarmed by the outcome of ongoing party primaries. Across all parties, women who brought forms, mobilized voters, met constitutional requirements, and showed competence were pressured to step down through consensus, excluded from screening, or replaced at the last minute through secret deals. This is not democracy. It is gatekeeping institutionalized. And if unchecked, 2027 will deliver worse representation for women than 2023. Nigerian women are 49.5% of Nigeria's 240 million population, yet they hold less than 4% of National Assembly seats, 4.7% of state assembly seats, 0 governorship seats, and 14 states have 0 women in their state house of assembly. Nigeria ranks among the worst globally for women's political inclusion, despite being Africa's largest democracy and economy. This gap between policy and practice is indefensible. Nigeria is signatory to CEDAW, ICCPR, Beijing Platform, Maputo Protocol, AU Solemn Declaration, and UNSCR 1325. The National Gender Policy of Nigeria commits to 35% affirmative action. The primaries we have seen so far prove we are not even close. This is our charter of demands. We call on all 36 state governors and national chairmen of all political parties to 1. Publish gender disaggregated data, release data on women who bought forms, who were screened, who were pressurized to withdraw, denied tickets through consensus, and those who emerged as candidates. 2. Publish inclusion data and release women's participation and candidacy data for all elective positions. 3. Stop backdoor exclusions. Ensure fairness and transparency as final candidate list and substitutions are submitted. 4. Adopt female deputy governors. For every male gubernatorial candidate, political parties must present a female running mate. This doubles women's presence in executive leadership and builds a pipeline for future governance. And 5. Enforce party democracy. Stop using consensus to sideline women. Make inclusion policies binding and enforceable. We also call on Independent National Electoral Commission INEC to be accountable, strengthen oversight to ensure parties comply with constitutional fairness and non-discrimination. And lastly, we call on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to influence the passage of the special seats bill reserved for women before the National Assembly. This temporary measure is democratic correction, not charity. In conclusion, this moment will define Nigeria's democracy. History will record whether Nigeria chose progress or regression, whether parties chose courage or convenience, whether democracy expanded or excluded. The world is watching. Nigerian women are watching. Girls are watching to see if leadership is open to competence or reserved for a narrow few. Women's exclusion is not just a women's issue. It is a national development, governance, and democracy crisis. We will monitor 2027 closely. We will document exclusion. We will publish findings and hold actors accountable. Nigerians deserve to know which parties are serious about inclusion. The time for measurable action is now. Nigeria will only rise when democracy reflects all its people, especially its women. I say thank you, and this is signed on behalf of Coalition of Women Groups, by Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation, by Women in Politics Forum, by Gender Strategy Advancement International, and by NLU Center for Development. Thank you, Bukola.
Thank you very much, Ma. And so let's set the ball rolling very quickly. And to set the tone, or to strengthen the tone that has already been set for today's discussion, let's welcome to present findings on data analysis on the primaries that have just been concluded across the country, Ms. Buki Shonibara, the Executive Director of Invictus Africa. You have the microphone now.
Thank you very much, Bukola. So I will be presenting on two different data sets today. The first data set will be the trend analysis data based on the elections that Nigeria have had since 1999 to 2023, but particularly in relation to women's representation. Where possible, time permitting, I would also touch on the representation of persons with disabilities as well as young people. Like I said, I will be presenting from 1999 data. Since Nigeria's return to democracy, we have had